Why does everybody just hate Kotaku so much? I mean, as a gaming website, yeah, they're kind of smug and they talk down to gamers a lot, but today, it seems as if they've finally gone a bit too far. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and to be perfectly honest, I'm filming this in the middle of the night. I've been up playing video games way the heck too late, and I noticed that Kotaku is currently the #1 trending hashtag, which is kind of insane because Kotaku's kind of irrelevant. A lot of times, the only time you see a gaming website a trending hashtag, it's typically because they published a review that made people upset, or they did a weird leak, or times where they just got information incredibly wrong. Like, remember when Kotaku accidentally wrote an article about a fake delay to Halo Infinite. Over the course of the last couple of years, Kotaku specifically has managed to kind of piss people off again and again because more than anything else, they have this very annoying tone to a lot of their stuff. It feels like they're a gaming website that definitely does not enjoy video games in general. Stuff like their previous gigantic writer, their big headliner, used to be Jason Schreier, who would consistently write these deep dive articles about how gamers are toxic, or even just randomly attacking gaming YouTubers and calling us aggressive provocateurs. Like, constantly it seemed like Kotaku managed to piss people off in every single direction. But why is it that this article seems to have been the thing that's actually broken the backs of everybody? 2K very quietly launches a new XCOM game that looks like shh. Now there's going to be some cussing in this video because, strangely, a lot of this week, Kotaku just keeps hammering out articles that are full of profanity. Now, in my personal life, I cuss a lot. I really like cussing, but in videos it feels a bit strange, so I don't do it. But now, this article, I think part of the reason that it's managing to just kind of anger people is because, in general, it is extremely negative. It seems overly malicious, like calling it gotcha crap. This article definitely goes beyond just trying to critique the game. It goes straight on into bashing it. Now, to be fair, I actually looked at the game itself. It does look like absolute garbage. Like, if I'm being completely clear, this game definitely deserves a little bit of hate, but maybe not a gigantic article dedicated to the front page on one of the biggest gaming websites in the world. Now, part of the reason I think people just currently are definitely turning their backs on it, I've actually seen people officially saying, I'm never going to read another Kotaku article again, or saying they've unfollowed their account to make sure they don't even see their clickbait garbage. Well, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that they just had a new person take over the website. This is Patricia Hernandez. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing a name. It's super late at night. This is the new editor-in-chief, the person who is in charge of everything. It's me. Nobody can stop me. I've been avoiding writing this post, but now I'm in charge. She's basically said that what she wants to do is try to make sure that everything about this is about making people feel welcome. We want to make sure that this is the best time to talk about video games with gamers among each other. But then, ever since she took over, again and again, the articles they're writing are just so incessantly, aggressively mean-spirited. Like this one right here, this is one that made everybody incredibly mad a couple days ago. Call of Duty director is visiting Europe, says shooting old guns was very hard work. From what I understand, a lot of game design is definitely a lot of tedious trial and error. It's attempting stuff, coming up with ideas, and having to hack up some very good plans because they just can't fit into your final product. But sometimes the game design process is very fun. There is those great moments where you get to just go out in a field and shoot 1,000 different guns to see which ones would feel good for your video game. The fact that they're writing this as a negative thing, the article itself is absolutely awful. Like, they straight up act like he's just sitting around, goofing off. Look at that. Oh, is this research? Like, they're being so condescending. Even Cory Balrog himself, the creator of the newest God of War and is theoretically working on God of War Ragnarok for the PlayStation 5, decided to jump in and just call out the tastelessness of this tone. It seems like the message here is, you're not doing game dev unless you're overworked and miserable, bro. And this just keeps happening. Like, again and again, every Kotaku article seems to make it seem like such a negative sense. Like right here, Xbox boss wants to preserve games while threatening game preservation. Everybody is kind of like, okay, what are you talking about? The fact that you're going to act like a guy who's trying to push for games to be stored and backed up and playable for the longest period possible is somehow the bad guy. This is hate clicks. They're farming hate clicks. Again and again, they're purposely making the dumbest content with the stupidest takes because they think it'll generate some extra money. What makes this the most interesting to me is two separate things. First and foremost is the amount of other gaming journalists that are now stepping forward to basically say that this is just such stupid crap. Like even right here, Zachary Ryan, this is a guy who works over at Twitch. He worked at IGN for a long time. He's talking about the fact that, look, you got to shake things up to stay relevant, but this is just this daily anger cycle, hatred, your mission statements, everything you're publishing is snotty, angry, and it feels like you're doing stuff wrong. Like, it's interesting to see this from a person who has written a lot of viral articles for different websites. And to me, I feel like his reasonable take here is actually worth noting. Now, to me personally, the other half of this is just the fact that, to me, it's disappointing because Kotaku does do some very good just reporting at times. They have done some absolutely amazing investigative journalism, and not even in the past. I'm talking about some of their recent works have completely blown me away. Like this is one that came out. This is a must-read article. It is so freaking good. Even if you don't play World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, what's happening right now is absolutely amazing. Basically, World of Warcraft released this absolutely cringe-inducing cinematic where the freaking villains basically do some Thanos stuff. It was absolute freaking garbage, and everybody hated it so much they decided to just straight up mass quit the game and move over to Final Fantasy XIV, which is now selling so hot they have halted online sales of FF14 simply because they can't keep up. They don't want to sell copies of the game because they think it might crash the servers and stuff. Articles like this are just so deep and well researched, and honestly just so shocking to see the caliber of phrasing. Like this is just such a masterclass piece of literature, and then you actually have stuff like this right afterward that just basically seems like something a high schooler turned in to try and hit a deadline. This is why people get very upset at Kotaku, is because 30% of the time they're absolutely on fire. 30% of the time they're dropping absolute gold, just some of the best analysis and outside the box thinking. 30% of Kotaku is actually decent stuff, and I will definitely die on that hill, but 70% of it is increasingly clickbait trash. Absolute drivel that does not respect you, it doesn't respect the gamer, and it doesn't even respect their hardcore authorship. The people who are forced to write this are some of the people I feel the most bad for. Kotaku employees, I want to make this clear, I'm not even attacking you guys. If you're having to do this for a paycheck, I salute you. We all have to do that stuff to get dinner on the table, but right now, Kotaku is a sinking ship. There is a war going on in games media. It is definitely against streamers, YouTubers, and classic gaming journalists. And more, people are starting to just watch games for themselves, instead of actually watching some gigantic, bureaucratic, classic guy who's been playing games since the 70s and owns a gigantic website. More people just want to watch their favorite streamer play a new game and decide if they want to buy it, or they want to watch one of my reviews and decide, okay, maybe I should check out Resident Evil Village or Final Fantasy 15 for myself, or whatever, you know? More and more, people want to try and use different types of content to make up their own mind. And classic gaming journalism is not what it used to be. These guys trying to churn out the hate clicks are losing the battle for the eyeballs. And I sympathize, but this is not the way. Sheesh. Well, what do you guys think? Have you had a chance to watch the downfall of Kotaku? I kind of just wanted to talk about this before I go to bed, and I guess I'll edit this video in the morning. But this entire thing is so fascinating to me because I do respect some of the content that's come out to Kotaku has been absolute gold, and now they're just dropping nuggets of poo. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. What a mess. Maybe I should play more video games. Yeah, I'm gonna play more video games before bed. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.